Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I'm Mary Claire Schmidt.
And I am Maher Al-Haj. We are with the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. We are here with the Uniting America program.
So for those of you that don't know, the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights is a nonprofit located in the city of Chicago. We've been around for about 26 years, and the coalition is dedicated to promoting the rights of immigrants and refugees to full and equal participation in the civic, cultural, political, and social life of our diverse society. In partnership with our over 138 different member organizations, which include social service agencies, universities, and community organizations, the coalition educates and organizes immigrant and refugee communities to assert their rights, promotes citizenship and civic participation, monitors, analyzes, and advocates on immigrant-related issues, and informs the general public about the contributions of immigrants and refugees.
And Uniting America is just one program with the Illinois Coalition for Immigrants and Refugee Rights, and it has three branches. The first branch deals with citizenship, and that's the New American Initiative. The second branch is the Youth Civic Leadership Academy, and the premise of that program is to engage the new Americans with the civic life of the American life. And the third program, which both Mary Claire and I are part of, is the Ameirca aspect of Uniting America. And our program is really, the premise of it is to recruit volunteers to bridge the gap between that could happen between different communities. So we are building bridges through volunteerism, through community service events, through community unity events, and through dialogue.
So speaking of the Ameirca position, program, Maher, what does your position entail within the program?
I have a really cool position. I work with the LGBT community, and the premise of my program is to put the LGBT community and the immigrant community in the same space, to have them have a constructive dialogue and to talk about their common issues. I work off of Lambda Legal Office. The way this program works is every fellow, Uniting America fellow, has a position with a different host organization. Like you said, ICER has over 130 partner organizations, and for each one of us, or most of us, we are placed at these different organizations. And my organization is Lambda Legal. And Lambda Legal is the nation's largest LGBT group that fights for discrimination against LGBTQ members and people living with HIV. And they do that through a process called impact litigation, and which is screening some of the cases to pick the most sensitive cases that could have an impact on social policy to change people's lives. So my program is really to engage the LGBT community with the immigrant community and vice versa.
If you were to pick one example of what your position is included, what would that be?
I would have to say back in May, I've organized this HIV health fair. And I picked HIV because it is a topic that the LGBT community has dealt with for a long time, since the 1980s. So we're somewhat familiar with that. And it is not so much with the Asian community. And May 18th, I believe, was the National Asian and Pacific Islander HIV Health Awareness Day. So we picked that day to have an HIV health fair where many LGBT organizations were hosted by an Asian organization in Uptown, Vietnamese Association of Illinois in Uptown, to have this health fair. It was a really great event because it did not only talk about HIV in the traditional sense, but we also discussed the legal aspect of it. For example, we discussed the non-traditional medicine aspect of it, like yoga, and we also had personal stories. I remember this person who told us his story. He was Asian and he had HIV, or he was HIV positive. He gave the most powerful speech, and he stressed the importance of doing similar works where we build bridges. He said there is a huge need to talk about HIV in the Asian community. It's such a highly stigmatized phenomenon, and people just do not address those issues. So that event, in a sense, was really great because it did not only just build those bridges between the LGBT community and the Asian community, but it also provided that safe space for them to talk about issues that they would not necessarily usually talk about. So that was a highlight for me through that community service event.
Well, it sounds like there have been a lot of highlights, but if you were to pick another highlight, what would that be?
I would say back in June, Lambda Legal every year marches in the gay parade, which is one of the largest parades in the country. And so the idea was to have a community unity event through that parade. And the idea was to recruit like members from the immigrant community to walk in solidarity with the LGBT community and specifically with Lambda Legal. And I am proud to say that we recruited over 50 members from the immigrant community who walked with us during that gay parade. That was really inspiring for me because to see like those two different marginalized groups connect together was just like an awe-inspiring experience.
That's great.
Thank you.
That's great.
How about you, Mary Claire? So my position with Uniting Ameirca was something very specific. Like I work with the LGBT community and the immigrant community in the premise to connect them in ways that does not usually happen. How about yourself? Like what was your position within the Illinois Coalition for Immigrants and Refugee Rights?
Yeah, so there are a total of 15 Uniting Ameirca fellows working in Chicago and the suburbs. 3 of us are actually working at the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights in their office. I'm one of the fellows working in the office, and I'm specifically working on ways to engage the business community in the work that we do as Uniting Ameirca, connecting with various businesses, whether they're local immigrant businesses or larger businesses with volunteerism and the various community service events that we have going on.
So if you were to highlight something that you've done, what would be your highlight?
Yeah. So August 15th of this year marked the first day that undocumented students could apply for deferred action. Deferred action is a new program that the Obama administration instituted this year. And on August 15th, ICIRR put on one of the very first deferred action workshops at Navy Pier, and we had over 12,000 young people show up on that day. And as my role in the workshop, I contacted a variety of businesses, and one business in particular provided 20 scholarships for young undocumented people that qualified for deferred action. And these scholarships could be used for a class that could be taken at this business. And after taking this class, they were eligible to work at the business. So that was really great for me.
This is very inspiring. I was part of that August 15th event, and if anybody like saw that event, like it was just like you feel this is like an inspiring thing to do. What would be another like highlight for you, like working with Uniting Ameirca over the past few years? Past few months.
Well, actually, continuing on with August 15th, something that really touched me was the fact that this was the first time that many of these young people were able to work. So the fact that we could help connect them with future employers was really inspirational. But another highlight of my experience so far as a Uniting Ameirca fellow, in March of this year, all of the fellows went on an overnight bus ride to Alabama with some of our volunteers. And we participated in the NAACP's, the last 2 days of the NAACP's 5-day march commemorating the 1965 Selma to Montgomery Civil Rights March. And for me, it was really great to partake in because there are so many different people from so many different walks of life coming together for this cause that was bigger than all of us. You had civil rights activists and people who are currently fighting for immigration rights in Alabama and across the U.S., and it was really kind of surreal walking the same streets that the civil rights activists had walked almost 50 years prior, and this time fighting for a very similar issue.
It's definitely inspiring. I have to lift this up because during that march, I, for the first time, got to talk with this great friend of mine who I had no idea about his documentation status or anything like that, and it turns out that he was undocumented. For me, that was you know, an like I was shocked. I couldn't understand like what that meant, and you know, that was like just in the beginning of my job here with Uniting America, so I really was not aware of the situation or any of these immigration issues. So when he told me that he was undocumented, it was like a reflection period for me, because for me, I came to this country when I was 19 years old, and I've gone through the immigration process, the naturalization process, and in 2005 I became a U.S. citizen. And I have my passport, I have my social security number, I have my driver license, and for me to see somebody who's came to this country when they were 2 months old, it was just something that I could not, and do not have legal documentation, yet they're as American as anybody else, just shocked me, because you know, I just could not believe that this is happening. And so for me, on a personal level, that was an experience for me that opened my eyes to these issues, and it definitely made me inspired to work with this kind of non-for-profit line of work. Yeah.
It sounds like you've had a lot of really great experiences. If you were to sum up what it has meant to be a Uniting America Fellow for those of you who didn't know about the program previously, or the organization and the work that it involves, how would you describe the past year as a fellow?
I would have to say, really, it was an awe-inspiring experience for me. I grew up so much doing this work. I came to it very naive. I had moved from Michigan a year prior to that, and I got involved with LGBT work as a volunteer. And through them, I got recruited to do this immigration work. But I really was naive. I had no idea what the struggles of the community were. I had no idea what people are going through, what the needs for the community are. So one positive thing that I've got through this job is to learn what the community is all about, and the issues that really affect them, and the struggles that they are going through. And through that, I met amazing people. I met some of the most leaders of the community, like Governor Pat Quinn, like Mayor Emanuel, and many EDs of different non-for-profit organizations that I was really lucky to meet and be inspired by, because they have so much passion to do this work, and it really inspires you to do this work. And then the other thing that I would have to say is I learned so much about myself. Like, I am, as a leader, I was nothing, and through this past few months, I got through so much training that prepared me to be a better person, a better leader who really cares, and it provided me with those tools that I did not have before. For example, like many trainings that we've got through. And one advantage of this job is that you have 20% of your time devoted to trainings if you'd like to. Another thing I would have to say is mentorship. I've gotten amazing mentorship. The leaders I've met, like no one, whether it's from the Illinois Coalition for Immigrants and Refugee Rights or within Lambda Legal, that I reached out to for help, was reluctant to help me. They were all happy. One leader in particular said, "Maher, this is what I enjoy the most about my job, to try to help young leaders like yourself to become the potential they are." So, and another thing was there are many things, including the various trips that we had to Springfield. We went 3 times or 4 times, and we're about to go another time next week. And then the trip to Alabama. And so there is so much. The story of self, though, who I am as a person in relationship to the community I live in, is particularly important for me, because I just learned so much about who I am and where I fit within the bigger picture. How about you, Mary Claire? So I've talked too much. How about yourself?
No, it's not true.
So what's your experience like? What's your reflections over the past few months within Uniting America?
It's definitely been a very humbling experience being a Uniting America Fellow. Kind of give me a little bit of background on myself. I initially It's been a long journey to where I am today, but I initially got involved in immigration because one of my good friends from high school, we went all of high school, and it wasn't until college that he came out and told me that he was undocumented, and it really made me question a lot of things that I previously had never thought about. And so I got involved doing immigration work in college, and then I recently graduated last year, and some of my friends from college told me about this position with ICER, and I feel like I've grown so much as a person during this past year, and a lot of it is due to the people that I've met along the way, the community members, the leaders, my coworkers. I feel that I have a better understanding of how I got to where I am today and how I fit into the larger picture, as you said, Maher. And it's really reaffirmed my desire to continue this work because of how important it is to the community. It's helped me to better understand the needs of the community and the importance of working together. A lot of these issues are very much interconnected, whether it's immigration rights or LGBTQ rights or women's rights or workers' rights. This work has really helped me understand how it's a larger movement that we're working within, and I'm very, very excited.
It really made me a better person.
Yeah.
I just feel so much more connected to the community I live in and I'm sure you feel the same way.
Yeah.
It's really sad that we're about to end our fellowship year. We're going to be ending in a couple of months, and so it's a good point. It's a good time to invite you all to apply to our positions. The Illinois Coalition for Immigrants and Refugee Rights is looking for UA fellows to come take our positions and move on to different, more exciting, creative ideas. And
so we are currently looking to hire 10 new fellows. We're in the process of interviewing applicants right now. And we're looking to place fellows in Chicago and the suburbs. And as Maher said, it's really been a life-changing opportunity and something that's allowed me a lot of creativity and growth. So I encourage anyone that's interested in applying to visit weuniteamerika.org or www.icirr.org for more information. And before we go, we just wanted to let you know a little bit about an event we have going on next week. Two of our peers, Sarah Hamden and Megan Benham, who are both Uniting America Fellows, are working to put on a food pantry drive with the Zakat Foundation. And so they're looking to bring food that fits certain dietary requirements, but they're working with a variety of community organizations throughout the city and the suburbs, and they'll be collecting food to donate to the Zakat for monthly distribution. And this month, the Zakat Foundation will be having a grand opening for the pantry on October 20th, which is during their Health Expo. And actually next week, October 18th, we will be going to Springfield to our AmeriCorps Service Day. Yeah. And then the food drive is going to be part of the event, the service that we're going to be doing on that day. We will be taking some food from here with us to donate to the Central Illinois Food Bank.
And then some of it we're asking the other AmeriCorps organizations to donate food to us as well to take back to the Zakat Foundation. And I have to mention as well that part of our program aims to build bridges, right? In ways that does not seem possible sometimes. And for that, I have to mention that I am working with Sarah Hamdan and Megan Benham, who are the two UA fellows that are working on the food drive, to coordinate a food drive from the LGBT community to donate to the Zakat Foundation. And Equality Illinois, for example, was really enthusiastic about this project, and we are in the process of collecting food in a subtle way to build bridges between the Muslim community and the LGBT community. And this is how I kind of unite America. So if anyone has any questions about the food drive, please contact Sarah Hamdan or Megan Benham, and their emails are on the overview. is just like too big. So, and if you please have any questions about the position with Uniting America or with about the food drive with the Zakat Foundation, please contact ICIRR. You can contact me, Maher Al-Haj, or Mary Claire for any more questions about this.
And if you have any questions about the position or any of the issues we talked about today, we encourage you to call in at the number below. As Maher and I mentioned, our positions, the fellowship ends in December of this year, and there are a variety of different opportunities available through the program.
If you're interested in volunteering with Uniting America in general, please contact ICIRR or any of the fellows. So we currently have like 13 fellows distributed throughout the Chicago and the suburbs area. And for those who are interested to apply, we are particularly interested in people from the suburbs like Juliet, Aurora, Waukegan,
Palatine.
So especially if you're in those areas and you are interested in this kind of work, we encourage you to apply. As I said, this has been a life-changing experience for me, and I am just a better person because of it.
Yeah, I agree.
So for the coming few months that I have left with Lambda Legal, there are two things I plan to do. One of them is to work more aggressively on this food drive from the LGBT community to contribute to the Zakat Foundation. This is a really important issue because building bridges between different marginalized group is really important because it has the potential to move those powerless or marginalized from the margin to mainstream. And I really believe in that. I believe in that because it is how we make things happen, how we affect change, and how we move forward. The other event that I am looking forward to do is a movie screening. And that will be like in Lakeview area. The details for that are still to be announced, but it will be a movie about an LGBT kid who struggled through his life growing up with his sexuality, and it was really about his family's way of internalizing the fact that he's gay and coming to terms with it. The idea is to show this at a church in Lakeview area, and we're inviting different immigrant communities to come and have a dialogue over that event with us.
We also, for those of you that are familiar with the Albany Park Theater Project, we're going to be having 2 showings of their most recent play, Homeland, in Aurora and Palatine, and the details are being worked out right now. But Maher and I both saw it. It's a really great play that addresses a lot of current issues in immigration. And the acting is phenomenal. It's all high school students, so be on the lookout for that.
It really is one of those plays that give you a different perspective on the situation. For me, it was like an eye-opener. Things that you do not think happen, they do happen, and this play, Homeland, is such a powerful one. It's made by very talented high school students, and for me, like, I was like so grateful for them. Like, I wanted to give everybody of them a hug for the work that they've been doing because it's such an important work that we do not like address. And they even discussed the LGBT immigration work within that play, and I was really inspired by them.
So these are a few of the upcoming things that we have going on through Uniting America. To find out more, please visit www.weuniteamerica.org. Thank you.
A pleasure.